上集导演和女主角不伦恋，这一次狩猎者两人都没份，导演换人做做看，当然要有新局面，不管视觉风格和特效都走出和上一集截然不同的味道。
Action!
Yeah, I mean, I think doing only the visual effects is a lot easier. It's a lot easier. Now I'm gonna be like, oh yeah. There's a lot more work involved when you direct a movie, that is for sure. Like it's like tons more. The pressure is more, and the demands are more. But it's also like so much more rewarding in a way. So it's all worthwhile. Yeah, sure.
So what's the biggest challenge for you?
You know, I think for a first-time director, the biggest challenge before you start shooting a movie like that, is definitely the cast. I mean, those are seasoned actors. They're amazing actors. And when you're a first-timer, you're like, okay, well, am I going to be? It's not about are they going to be good enough. You know, they're great. It's about you. Like, am I going to be good enough? You know, am I going to be good enough for them? And that's the biggest, thing that you think about. But then you meet them, and then you start to work with them, and they are like amazing, and things just works, and then it becomes the best experience. So it's the most daunting experience at the beginning, but then it ends up being the best experience. That's my biggest takeaway on this movie, is to have worked with those guys, and have enjoyed it so much. And as a director, I think I grew like immensely, like after working with them.
Did you sleep well in the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah. No, well, right before you start, that's when you lose your sleep. And then when you start, and it works, and the energy is great, then all of a sudden you go back to sleep like a baby. Oh yeah, that's cool.
And you don't storyboard the emotional scenes, and
no.
How does it help?
Well, I think, I just like, I like to leave the actors like room to play in a way. I like to let them, have ideas and bring things. I know what I need out of the scene, but I like to kind of see what they can bring. I don't want to stifle them and let them grow. So if you start to storyboard everything, then you're contriving, for me, everything. And I like to let them explore, and I find a way to capture that. I prefer that.
How about the kissing scene?
The kissing scene. Well, the kissing scene was actually like quite easy, because the framing was pretty easy, and the one in the movie, actually, as a matter of fact, the one that is in the movie is the first take, very first take. Yeah.
So how many takes?
I think we did like 4, I think, and that's the first one you see. Yeah.
When I saw the movie, I think it's kind of Lord of the Ring feel to it. And can you share with us your vision of the film?
I think fantasy, they all have the same type of, horses and swords and creatures and, castles. And so I think Lord of the Rings are the most successful, or like people talked about Frozen, just because they are the most successful and the latest. I think, that's why they're very much in mind. But I think, those fairy tales, those like, Tolkien, when you write Lord of the Rings, what is he inspired from? He's inspired by those like fairy tale stories that he grew up with. So I think all those worlds like always collide from the same source, which is like this medieval world with creatures and magic in it,
I made you what you want.
不止特效抢眼，两位坏皇后的服装也是奥斯卡级的制作，由3度夺得小金人的大师科林·艾特伍打造。莎莉赛隆8套戏服，一套比一套更美，细节更是一点都不马虎。这套更将近23公斤重金缕衣无误。
And then I'll tear her heart out.
Hi, Mama Spicy. And was Jackson scared at all when you do some dark things?
No, Emily and Chris and I talked about this because our kids were on the set, and they're all kind of at that age where their lives are revolving around dress up. So that's kind of where their mindset is. So the fact that their parents get to do that, I think they're just kind of like, cool, I do that too. Like, I'm gonna go home and be a princess, like, whatever. Like, to them, it's just so... Emily was like really scared that her daughter would get freaked out, and then her daughter was just kind of like, and I said to her, it's a little worrisome. It makes me believe that you dress like this at home. She's not acting like this is the first time she's seen her mom like this.
Your son is a fan of Frozen, so is he a fan of Freya?
Yes, he's obsessed with Freya. Absolutely obsessed. Like, Emily to him is like the most beautiful princess he's ever seen, and it was really upsetting to me because I basically didn't exist. And every time he sees the poster when we're driving in the car, he just goes, oh, look at Emily. She's so pretty. And I'm like, yes, your mother is right next door. He's like, I know, but look at Emily. Like, he's obsessed with her.
But your mom is spicy, so it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to be in the heavy costume and fight with Chris in one scene. Was it an easy day for you, or?
Doing the fight stuff?
Yes.
The costumes and the heels and the hair and the crown and the cape, and it all becomes a little bit problematic, and you have to kind of design the fight around it a little bit. But I think it made for an interesting fight because there were just certain things that felt right because physically I couldn't do anything else. So, and Chris is just such a good natural stunt fighter that he was really helpful to me. There were a lot of moments where he was basically holding me up, but he's so strong you don't notice it at all. And so I'm glad I got to do it with him. I felt very safe with him. I don't think he's the kind of guy that kind of walks around thinking he's like a expert on fighting. No, he's just a real gentleman. He's just a really good guy, and he looked out for all of us on this set.
别看莎莉赛隆现在每次出场都宛如皇后，气势超强，她却透露自己有个让人很难相信的大弱点。
I was surprised to learn that you say you suck at auditioning. I think you don't need any auditioning right now, right?
It's been a while, yeah. I'm lucky. I'm grateful for that. But yeah, back in the day when I was auditioning, I know that I wasn't very good at it.
Do you remember the first time?
I don't remember. I don't know if it ever got made. I don't really remember what it was. I mean, I was going out for so many things.
演戏生涯中第一次演续集电影，莎莉不管演坏皇后，或是去年疯狂卖词的平头女英雄，最近似乎使坏使上瘾。她即将加入《玩命关头8》演大反派，但我们之前问她，她却说
You know, this is all rumors. Yeah, I'm hearing the same rumors.
But would you be interested?
Sure, I'm interested in anything, you know, and that's an incredible franchise and has done incredibly well and has a fan base like nothing else in the world. So I'm flattered to be even considered or talked about for something like that.
Shall we find out?